In this video, we are going to be coding the delete button for our news admin script.
Alright, that's cool.
You see, if we take a look at the script, we have the delete link created, and we have it pointing to a delete ID value.
Right.
But at the moment, if it is clicked, it doesn't actually do anything.
Right.
That's because our script isn't looking for delete ID, and therefore nothing happens.
Alright.
So let's take a look at what we need to do to set it up and make delete ID work.
Yeah, because it kind of sucks, having those buttons and you can't really get rid of your news items.
Yeah, I know.
And they start building up. And
let's fix that.
Yeah.
Let's jump into source and scroll up to the top of our script.
Mm-hmm.
So what do we need to look for in this case? We aren't going to be dealing with the input form at all, so we can completely skip this section.
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, what we're going to do is jump down just after the form processing section.
Right.
We're going to make a completely separate section that checks to see if delete ID has been passed to the script. So we will say if is set $_get, and the exact key will be delete ID for that link. So end this off and start our if block. So what do we need to do if we have been passed an ID for deletion? Well, we need to run a query to remove that record from the database.
Right.
So that query will be delete. Is that? Okay, I looked wrong for a second. Delete from news where auto ID is the value that was passed, because delete ID is going to be set to that record ID, or auto ID in this case.
Mm-hmm.
So this will be the query we need to run. Now, if let's take the actual query syntax from our add section, because that had a nice if block around it that would allow us to check for errors, and if so, show the error. So we're going to actually grab that block just to save time, and then paste that right in here. So that way we can run the query, and if it fails and returns false, then we can show what exactly went wrong because of that. So with that, let's see how that's working, because it seems like that should be enough. We have our query set, and then we run the query.
Right.
So let's grab one of these to delete. We'll grab the first line 2 entry.
Click it.
And yes, it did in fact delete one. There's quite a few more of them. We'll delete the last one as well, because that might have been hard to see. So the last one.
And there we go.
So it is working.
Cool.
Now, there's one thing I'd like to clean up. You can see it leaves delete ID = 1 up in the address bar.
Right.
Now, this doesn't cause any actual problem, because if we were to run this again, you can see it's not deleting anything.
Right.
That's because the record with auto ID 1 has already been deleted. Now, there is no record with an auto ID of 1, and therefore nothing gets deleted if we attempt to rerun it.
Right.
Though, it would be nice to clean up the address bar. Just get it all set up the way it was. Return to the admin screen in its original form. To do that, we can do the same thing that we used to prevent duplicate records in the entry form. We can copy our header and exit line and paste those in after the query. Let me just move one of these brackets in. So we'll return to the main part of the script. As a matter of fact, we can comment in what we're doing here. We'll say return to the main screen. So we'll tell the browser, by passing it a header, to go to this location, that is the main screen script, and then exit. Halt this script's execution. So now, if we delete, let's delete the last, actually let's delete the A and B line, the third one down. So it did in fact delete, and we have cleaned up the address bar.
Yeah, I was just saying, and it cleaned it up.
So really, that's all we need to do to implement the delete button.
Right.
So very simple, but that's because all we're doing is picking an existing ID and deleting it. And then finally cleaning up the address bar to get us back to the main screen.
Right, that's been short and sweet.
So really with that, that's going to wrap up this lesson.
Okay.